Hello, ladies and beautiful gents. Welcome back to the Dabble In Babble podcast with your ever so gracious hosts, Brian. I'm just gonna say my name right for once. Brian Avila Salazar. I don't know why I keep saying it wrong. I don't know why I think it's funny. You'll probably find out in the next podcast because I have a guest. On my next podcast, I recorded my last guest podcast last Saturday, and I'm decided because I believe the last one I uploaded was me with Luke. And therefore, this is why I'm recording this one as, just a solo one. And then I have another group one next time. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And we're here. So I just sent out a snap to all the people who will probably listen to this, saying that, if you have a topic, I'll talk about it. Probably an actual social media presence to have that actually work, but who knows, why not? Anyways, the theme for this podcast is literally nothing to do with writing or being creative at all. Literally nothing. Cause like all of my podcasts end up just devolving to being. It's like, I have creative ideas. Writing is hard. The creative process, artistry, lame shit. You know the lame shit. So this time I'm trying to absolutely not talk about anything of that. Just like. Nothing at all. I already hate myself for this, but yeah, I'm okay. So I think the thing I'm sorry with this bordering on that is D&D. In that I'm doing it. It's a cool Dungeons and Dragons for all of you don't know. Game where you can. I think I admire D&D because it's like one of the most simplest. It's like pure imagination. Okay, and I'm not considering it like writing because it's just a game, but I think I have a fascination with D&D because it's like super it's like scaled to hell. You can scale it to hell. It can literally be played with like a piece of paper, and like a piece of paper. Yeah, it can play with a piece of paper and a random number generator, or it can play with like these giant, massive. Really expensive sets and maps and like digital stuff. Like whenever there's a D&D show on the internet, they always go like all out and there's like a giant table with a digital display of a map, and like they have like meticulously crafted miniatures and whatnot, and it's like really cool stuff. Or you can just play it in your head with a free thing called Orc Pub where you create character and like some dice you can get from Barnes & Noble for $12. I got 2 of them. I stole one because I hate Barnes & Noble. Oh, God, Barnes & Noble. I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with Barnes & Noble. One is the love part, because, it's books. I like books. I don't really read, but I like books. I like board games. They have a lot of board games there. And, it's a generally nice atmosphere. Whenever, usually, like, kids, teenagers just go, to go out shopping. If they don't really like shopping, they go like, hey, can I go to like the GameStop? Or like, hey, can I go out to like the little, the play area or something like that? Or like, hey, can I go to this place, like somewhere else, Hot Topic even, just somewhere that's not interesting. Whenever I go to the outlets, I always ask like, hey, can I go to Barnes & Noble? So I can just bum around and look at, not even like inside the books, just like book spines. I'm not even reading the books most of the time. Usually I just go to like the graphic novel section or something. It was either that or the history section or the board games. I went on for my Faith trip, things I mention all the time. But I went for the Faith Foundation. We went to see Incredibles 2, but also we stuck around for the outlets because the outlets was like a little town. And I'm got my first message. I'll finish this story, then I'll see what it is. I have it loaded up. Anyways, I was talking about. Yeah, the outlets here is like a little town area. It's like, really big outlets and had a bunch of stores and whatnot. And like in the center of it was like a big old movie theater. So me and this friend there, I had a friend, I'm just gonna call him M. So me and M was a rotund fellow. He was a big old boy, and was very soft spoken. And like he would do this thing where like it would go like, whenever he asked him anything, it would go like, and like hold his chin like an evil genius. It was hilarious. And he was also a big anime fan, and so we went to Barnes Noble. Well, first we just ate next to each other. Like I think I mentioned him like how It was a quiet type and it was a loud type, and we were both weirdos, and we both sat next to each other because that's just how it works. And like we did the same thing because we ate there Red Robins, and like by as soon as everyone ate, it was basically finishing. They let us go out before we go to see Incredibles 2. And so I just happened to be walking, following the map and whatnot, and he happened to be there as well, so I was like walking with him. And so we get to Barnes & Noble, and, I'm just, workshopping, just chatting to him, being nice. I bought him he didn't ask me to do this, but I just bought him a chocolate milk because I thought, because we always joke whenever he was in the lunchroom, he always like gets chocolate milk, like no matter what. We eat 3 times a day, and no matter what, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, it was always like he wanted a chocolate milk. And I found it really funny, so I went to like the little Starbucks thing and I bought him a chocolate milk, and I just gave it to him, and I ended up tearing apart all of manga in front of him. It was just like really mean. Like you showed like all the weird stuff. Like I get manga is manga. Like all the teen drama stuff, and then there's like the weird stuff. Like there's it's like manga that's turned into a show of like it's just a guy with like a harem of animals. It's just animals, and it's like I don't know what it's called, and I don't really want to know. It's just weird animals, and it's just like weird animals. There's one like a horror one, which is like if there's one culture that can do horror, it's the Japanese, because Jesus Christ, they do not hold back on the imagery. The normal stuff they shoot for commercials is scary. I hate to fear what the Japanese fear. I fear what the Japanese fear. That's so stupid. But anyways, yeah. I have now 2 snaps telling me what to discuss, and actually, I'll just finish off what I hate about Barnes & Noble. The music is always weak. It's always like really light and is terrible. There's always a person, no matter what, always a person writing a screenplay in there. There's always a person writing a screenplay. Never a book. No, it's always a screenplay or like an essay. And like they're always the same like stereotypical college kid. Or like I actually saw one same area with Em over there. There's just a couple I believe, or just a pair of friends, who like took out an entire bookshelf and just reading books. Like they cannot have paid for all of them. They're just here reading for free, and this cannot be real. But that was weird to me. But who knows? Anyways, another thing I don't know about Barnes & Noble is Starbucks in there. Automatic, like points taken away because Starbucks is terrible. I once looked at the Starbucks like. First of all, I don't like coffee. Okay, I'm very scared of any sort of like drug, like even like I'm reluctant to take a Dayquil. I don't know why. I just fear like what I can't control. I guess not like a control freak way, but like I feel like stuff putting in my body, like food and stuff, I'm okay with. But with medicine, I'm like a few steps back. I think this is how my mom like raised me, because when I went to therapy, she said like she like told like I think the first day I was there, like she told me like the therapist straight up, I don't care what he has, he's not taking medicine. Like, any of it. And I think that during that time, I was, like, really scared. I don't know where I got this idea from, but, like, I think I read a book, even back then, or just something. I had this idea of, like, antidepressants were basically, like lobotomies in pills. Like, they would take away your personality and whatnot, and, like, make you a different person, which is, like, a really, really rare case of, like, actual antidepressants. Usually they just level you out, and they're perfectly fine and healthy, and that's fine. But like, that like fear of medicine always like stuck with me, and like that's probably why I don't like taking medicine. But so yeah, on that, like I don't like things in my body, and so caffeine terrifies me. Like I don't like it's literally drugs. Okay, that caffeine is drugs. Okay, legal drugs. It is literally addictive to your brain. Okay, your brain will want caffeine all the time. I have just decided to not speak the proper English, because, why the fuck not? Anyways, so that was my rant on Barnes & Noble. I might continue that, but let me take this request from, one Luke. What was glue first? Jesus Christ, Luke, I already said it's a low bar for you as it is as a person, Luke, but you're just not helping me. The first ever like glue, I assume that's what he's saying. The first ever glue I would assume was like saliva. Probably that or sap in caveman times. They just a lot of that, poking and prodding. That was the process back then of discovering crap. Like we learned in history, I believe. Yeah, and I take AP history, and like in the AP, first of all, the teacher's great in AP history. He's a real funny guy. Like he's a great personality, and like when it was discovered, when we were talking like very early on in the lesson, like caveman, he stressed the point of like a lot of it was just trial and error in the worst way possible. like he described how when people went to Australia for the first time, they just had like just caved in logs for boats, and he was just going. He just said like this. He said like, okay, now imagine you looking out into a giant like sea of just a giant sea of nothingness, taking your little log for a boat, and just going. And then he looked back and he's like, and then he takes perspective like another person is like another like ancient person. We're like, okay, is he coming back? He's probably not coming back. We don't know. He could never come back. Even if he's alive or dead, he could never come back. Who's the next guy to do it? Like, that was a really good way. And like, I assume during that time they just touched things that were sticky and then put them on other things. So yeah, look, I'm going to assume a saliva or a slap. 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 Just slap that on. Flex tape. Memes. Anyways, I'm assuming what was glue first, probably sap or saliva. If not, are you talking about what glue was first made of? I'm just gonna say cows. Dead veal. The vegans are right. We should respect cows. Anyways, the next one we have from one Big D. The Elliot Rogers manifesto. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Okay. For those who don't know who Elliot Rogers is, he is like the he's the patient zero for all incels. Now, if you don't know who an incel is, an incel is short for involuntary celibate, which basically means a guy who can't have sex, not because he chooses not to, because he just literally can't have sex, to like some social standard, and like. Elliot Rogers was like a guy who went to college who was like deeply disturbed, and he Jesus Christ, fuck you, David. Basically, he went to his college and like he had like a series of videos where he described like being ugly and like, and he was like super mechanical and like aggressive towards women, even though he wanted them sex with them. Like, he wanted them to have sex with him, and he was, like, the worst person ever. Like, he was super cold, and, like, he called himself ugly, which, to be honest, he was pretty good looking, for what would eventually become of him, which would be that one day he would, like, go to his college and, like, make one last video in, like, his car, and then go kill people. He killed, like, 3 people, I think. I don't know, not a lot of people, but, still killed people because he wanted to take revenge on all the pretty people. And I think now other incels who feel the same way, like they're ugly and like girls will never they'll never mate. Basically, the Elliot Rogers is their god. Like it's like their god. It's like how filmmakers always thank Steven Spielberg for like inspiring them. Elliot Rogers is a Spielberg of incels. Oh god, that brings up a good point. That I am fascinated by incels. Like it's so weird because they're like the most reality ignorant people I've ever seen. Okay, forget extreme leftists, forget Donald Trump, forget any political thing you have. That's just like they don't know what reality really is. Okay, incels do not understand reality, do not understand people, and like some of them are like normal in that they just have really low self-esteem. Like there's some video of one guy who goes like documents his journey in a weird way to phrase that, but he documents himself and like he tells about like dates and whatnot, and like it's the saddest thing ever because he like every little thing he like takes as a giant negative. Like he's like, oh, she probably doesn't like me at all. Like she said, oh, she hugged me, but like I don't know what to do. She's probably just using me to be other you're just using me for like, I don't know, an arm wrest or something, like something really like that was like super down-putting. You just want to hug him. But then there are the others who like call for the death of women and like say how like women are both women are like somehow they desire but also worthless. And like some of the things like they like call like all women are like all women have it super easy because they're women. And like if you're not, and they believe like women only care if you're like an 8 or above, like anyone below a 7, and like the attractiveness range is like it's like basically the Hunchback from Notre Dame. That's apparently what it is. They like broke it down like there's some video called Misinformed, which is like casually explained but actually funny. And like he did a great video on this. I'll probably put it in the description. And he did a great video on like incels and whatnot. And like he went on to like describe terms like incels apparently call women who've had sex roasties because they believe like after the vagina's had sex once it turns into like hammered pig, which is not how it works. Okay. And like just like what women actually want, like they want like curved eye, like they want like curved eyes because apparently Mrs. Form points out like they want you to look like a cat with like weird eyes and like just like weird. Just incels are so fascinating. It's like just the amount of like dual edgedness of like the reality of like wanting to have sex with women but also calling them like worthless pieces of garbage is like it's like amazing to me. I don't know why. I don't identify them, of course. I don't identify with them, but like it's so fascinating to see how they actually think. They had like a torn down Reddit that was like r/slash incels, and like another YouTube channel called Soot House like went through and like saw a bunch of just basically read through like the weirdest stuff they could find, and some of it was like super off-putting and weird. It was like just oh my god, it was bad. It was bad. Oh my god. Speaking on bad things, fedoras. A lot of incels wear them. I also happen to buy them. I don't know what to make of that. I never really knew what the connotation of fedoras. I think it's because I played Mafia 2 and they wore them in that game and I thought, oh, that's cool. And I always just like the look of them. And then like as I grew older and like I was like slow to the meme game, and so people always like thought it was really a joke, and I always thought like, oh, that actually looks. I thought I always actually look good, and I think they do look good, but like, it's like people who wear them are like always like neckbeard virgins who like tip them and say like "m'lady," and like all that jazz, terribleness, and I like the style of them. Well, first of all, you have to wear them with a button shirt. I believe the first thing people go wrong is like you can't wear them with a t-shirt at all. Like if you wear them with anything less than a button shirt, then you're doing it wrong. And then those are the people that you want to discourage. I don't know why. I really like the old style of like vests, suit, just vests and like people 1920 news reporters. I have on my board right now from my guest podcast. The girl over there, she drew a Kermit because she loves Kermit memes. She drew Kermit with like a news cap and a tie, and like dressed like that. Like old timey newsboys had like the vest, the tie, the hat. It was. I really like that style. I don't know why. I think that's why I like the hats. And like for no other reason. I don't think it actually gives me class. God no. I don't believe I have any class. But like I just like the style of them, and like I feel weird and I feel scared of like wearing them because the association is like too strong. You can't shake it no matter what you do. I guess I really shouldn't care about that because I don't care what I say most of the times, and usually people will think that's more important than like how I look, especially with the things I say most of the time. But I don't know. I kind of feel weird. Mostly because I don't wear a button shirt every day, and that now I feel weird like not wearing a button shirt but still wearing a fedora. God, that was. That was pointless. That was a pointless goddamn tangent. Okay, then, what else do I have to discuss? Actually, yeah, I can discuss SAT classes that I've had. So, during the summer, or like the beginning of the school year, me and my mother decided that I need SAT classes because the future is a scary thing and I want to be the most prepared for it. So we have a local community college called Northampton that like you can pay to you pay a fee and like you have like six classes there, and it teaches you like the basics. There's like math and verbal SAT. And I went there, discovered that colleges are really confusing. Like laid out wise, and looking at maps is hard. It's like I swear to God, just finding where to drop me off was like weird because it's like a B building and like first of all the entire like college like just entering it from like the main entrance. Like I say main, there's multiple entrances, but like the main one I would say is like just a straight line with like a building to the right of it. And so it just looks weird. It's just a straight line with a curve, but like and like my mother is like super bad at directions, and so we got lost on a straight line basically. But we managed to find the class, and they dropped me off like in the back of. It felt like the back of something, like it was where like those like big old white boxes like not those UPS trucks but like U-Haul trucks boxes. It felt like those were just back there, but it had like a bus stop area, so I guess that's just where the buses are. People just parked in the grass there. I don't know why. And like there was like a tennis court that looked abandoned. Like it literally was like there was like brown spots all over like the little whatever we call like the bottom of like a tennis court, like a turf or whatnot. Just on material and like looked super overgrown. Like it was like the tennis court in Chernobyl, and it looked like that. But yeah, it dropped me off, and I went to my first day. I went to my first class, and yeah, it was only like 11 people in the class, with like mostly girls. And the teacher is like really good. Like just going like just one of these classes has like informed me more about like multiple topics than any other class ever. Like I learned math. Like I've never understood fractions more clearly than after going to that class, because the teacher himself is an interesting character, because apparently he taught in New York, but like not in the normal way. I.e., he taught in a prison for like 30 years, and he mentioned how in New York it's safer to teach in the prisons than in the schools, because some of the schools there like kids walk through like metal detectors in the morning, and like I guess like stuff's crazy in New York. Most of the kids some kids good like portion of it just don't care, because they're about that life. The problem with inner city kids and whatnot. All those movies, like the Eric Cartman skit from that one episode in South Park. We're like, how do I teach these kids? That inner city problems. And just all like people not caring in your class. And in prison, he explained that basically, if you're going to school in prison, you probably care about your education. So there's no like worry of like people like not caring, because they probably do care. And like in prison, they already have like armed guards everywhere, and like everyone's being checked, so there's probably no one that's coming and stab you just randomly, even though they're prisoners. And like taught there for 30 years, and so I assume from this like teaching of like the worst possible environment, at least we would think, that I guess he just developed skills to explain things really well. Because I guess, with prisoners in New York, some of them may be, younger or like adults who like never graduated from high school. That's a very possible thing. So they probably had to like go back and relearn the basics for a lot of these people. And so I guess from doing that for 30 years, he just got super good at explaining the basics of things. And he really did. He explained, like reading, writing, and math. He focused on fractions for the first day, and with English he described like everything, like all the basics, like noun, adjectives, all that, similes, similes, antonyms, like all of that. He explained like all the basic rules that like we forget about, and we constantly break without even realizing it. Like it's amazing how good it was. I was there for like the class is like 3 hours, but it felt like shorter. It did not feel like a taxing experience. It felt like more just like, Jesus Christ, this seems amazing. And like I got like a big old SAT book. He even gave me homework, and I'm like not mad at all. I'm like not mad because I feel like I just feel like and like yeah I can do math now. Like I just feel like a weird clarity of understanding. Like because of this thing, I was bad at fractions. It's just math in general. I'm terrible at math. Like as you probably know from listening to this, I'm more in the creative arts, but I'm not gonna talk about it because that's just how the podcast is about. Anyways, Jesus Christ. Okay, so anyways, so yeah, I was always having trouble with math and just feeling like I actually understood it and like retained information. That was like the greatest feeling of my life. And so I just wanted to do homework. I haven't done it yet, but I like feel supremely confident, like more so than I ever have in a math class. This is probably gonna mean I like fail immediately. I'm just gonna get like all the questions wrong, but screw it. At least I'm trying to learn. The class is worth it just for that, for just feeling like smart again. That's something you can't put a price on. And so yeah, that's cool. It's weird thinking about like colleges and whatnot. We recently in my school we had the college fair and whatnot, and I think really my decision, like I went around, first of all like super full, with a bunch of tables and whatnot, and like people going around asking at the same table, people gathering around. It's real crazy. Like, sorry, I have gas. I get gas. I'm gassy, guys. I'm gassy. God. iDubbbz copyright. So yeah, the college fair was like a crazy, crazy thing, and like it was just super, 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 super crowded, super crowded. So it's just going around like trying to get as much information as you can, and I think the future that lies ahead of me is like whether I want to dive like go into. I'm just torn between two schools of both thought and like a physical schools. And like it goes to like the sales for a marketing major because having a real life skill that's like basically is always on demand marketing. This is going to be in demand, so like it's a pretty safe bet that marketing is going to be a real thing, real job opportunity. So that I can always get a job in marketing and whatnot. And like it's a real thing, and I can still do my creative writing or go to Susquehanna University and do a major in creative writing and do that possibly for a living, or at least get a certificate to maybe even teach it at one point. And like I'm kind of conflicted by it because at one hand, the sales is like, first of all, the sales is like in a big old college and like it's nice. I went there for Faith Foundation, that. Well, you all know that. And like it's a super nice place, super nice college, and apparently the marketing. My guy who was there for our groups for the Faith Foundation did sports marketing, and he described how great the programs were there. Like I saw like they had one of the rooms there for like one of their like in like the business section. What they do, they have like nurses and doctors stuff like that, but they also have like a room with like one of those like stock tickers, the digital ones, not the physical ones, but like the ones that like show like all the company logos and like the stock price and all that. And, like it's super legit, and like I talked to some of the professors there, and like they're amazing at like explaining things. And so I know for a fact that the business school there is like just amazing and like super, super. I'm not doing the super thing again, the one time gag. But yeah, the marketing and just the business department there in general is like off the wall. And I know for a fact that there's like a club there, at least a club presence of like movie makers, because one time when I was eating, there was like a group of students like walking around with a camera, a tripod, and like a little like those things you go like scene one, one of those things. And like so I know there's like a presence there for like making films, so I can still like practice creative writing. And like it would be a smart thing to do, but like I don't know why, but just the idea of like being able to major in creative writing and do the thing that I like to do for a living is like almost too good to pass up. I think I'm really now talking this out just in my out just out loud. It kind of feels like super to really consider it because it's an art college. Like it's a bunch of arts and whatnot. It's like Susquehanna has like feels like poetry, nonfiction, and like fiction writing, and most people go into fiction, of course, whatnot. But like, it's just weird thinking about like, I don't know. It's like it's a scary thing where like I'm thinking just out loud of like just it's probably a really dumb idea, and like my FBLA advisor teacher said really well that if you do the thing you love for a job, you may not end up not loving it anymore. And I don't think that's gonna be the case for me. But like just thinking about it, like I guess I would want to go to a real college because I want to go like get a real degree. I don't want to say real degree because then like kind of shits on everyone who has a creative writing degree, but but like just get like a real degree in quotes, for a real job and like have something stable, which I guess is like a lot smarter than in the long run. Because during the college period, I was admittedly like wrapped up in like the idea of like anyone who like offered courses in creative writing, and I kind of exclusively like went towards there, and like also it's about marketing, and like that's the main focus is just marketing of creative writing courses. And I think I'm starting to just saying it out loud now, leaning toward just marketing in general, because I'm always gonna make time no matter what I do. No matter what I end up doing, it's gonna be time for writing. I know I'm gonna do it. Like I want to have something at least turned out for before I leave high school, so there could possibly be a chance of getting that out into the way, making short films on YouTube, getting popular off that possibly. Just so there's always a chance of like me taking off in a different way, and therefore then I don't need a certificate for that. Like just to do creative writing is like a weird thing of like I don't feel like I need a creative writing degree now that I think about it. With marketing, if I don't get off the ground and like just make a satisfying amount of money from it, but like nothing to like get me to do it, full time independently. Like nothing. If I don't make that much money, then like I still have marketing, and I can still do it because I love it, and make films and whatnot. He's like that's all fine, but like with a creative writing degree, it's like really sink or swim. Like I have to do this. And even if I do it, I'll probably end up doing it for like, end up workshopping in writers' rooms and whatnot. And I love doing the thing for the creative process, just, working off other people's ideas. But it's like, I don't think I could really do that, full time, because I have too many of my own ideas, too many of my own visions to like really be able to surplus everyone else's. It's a weird thing. Thinking about it, and I promise I wouldn't get into like the creative aspect. And I guess this is really not. It's like more of just future aspect of the things that I do. And so it's a weird thing to think about. I don't really know. There's no end to this story. I just kind of like this is how I am. And this is like what I gotta do. And so yeah, scary thing the future is. A scary thing. I think it just comes down to the fact that you did something you got to love in this world, something you love doing, and like either you pursue it with all your whole vigor or like compromise yourself and feel like, okay, I like doing this thing, and maybe I won't be able to do it like for my life, like I don't know, making Lego, but so I'm gonna get a job, and like help surplus that. It won't be my entire thing, but maybe that's for the best, because too much of anything is not a good thing, even a good thing. That was terribly said. Oh, God. And so anyways, after that, man, hard to segue to anything. Porch Fest. So, I'm part of the National Honor Society, and a part of that is, I have to, like, volunteer, like, 5 hours every marking period, which is stupid easy to get. Like, just literally, you can, like, go to any place that needs, any like special event. Just signing up for like cleaning at like 2 places is enough to get you like 5 hours of community service. It's not that hard. So it's like the super low barrier. And the thing I signed up for is Porch Fest. And apparently I did research on it because I had no idea what the hell it meant. So I went to Porch Fest. I went to like the website, or like didn't have a website, but like Google search. And so apparently Porch Fest is this thing that started in Ithaca, New York. And I only know about Ithaca because there was a shotgun made in Ithaca that was slam fire, and that it was a pump shotgun and every time you pumped it, and you like, I don't know, press the trigger or something like that, every time you pumped it back, it would fire automatically while loading the next round, the next slug in. And so you could go, like that. That has nothing to do with the story, by the way. So, Ithaca, New York. Apparently, this is a thing called Porch Fest. I was like created in 2007, where like a bunch of musician groups or whatnot, just people would go to a neighborhood, local musicians. They go on porches, they play whatever song. They have like a bucket for donations, and people just sit and watch for free. That's it. And it's like super weird thinking about it, because it's, why are they on porches? Why is it somewhere else? But I think I kind of like the idea, because like just something super simple of like, you're just on a porch, we're in a neighborhood, why not enjoy it? And like, so I don't know, I kind of like the idea, and like I'm kind of excited to like help it out. The way I'm helping out is like I'm gonna like handle a desk for like an hour, and then for like a shift, and then for another shift I'm gonna like be at a porch and like look over things, make sure people don't like steal money or kill each other, because Porch Fest is like a super dangerous area. It's like working at a nightclub basically. Porch Fest, where a bunch of hippies drink apple cider and look at other hippies play probably banjo music. I have no idea, I'm just making assumptions, but screw you. And I guess it's gonna be a thing. This weird thing of like, I had a really good idea and tangent I wanted to go on, and I just lost it. So I'm just gonna lose it. I'm just gonna let it go off into the wind like a free bird. Let's see. Well, what should I close this out on? Oh, I know. Hey, you ever had an English class revolt against the teacher? Anyways, big old story time. Good old podcast, and this is a good one. This is a good. It can take us like half an hour to read. So, anyways, I'm in an AP English class, and apparently, I discussed this before, but the teacher in the English class is not very well liked by the student body. Kids just don't like her because they find her, I don't know, personality annoying, or like she gives too much work or whatnot, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care. I never had a problem with a teacher. With the syllabus, yes, before. Like last year, with science, I had a problem. But that was like more the syllabus fault, and like the work. Like, they just didn't like doing, because it was like soul draining more than the teacher. The teacher actually tried to help me, and I thank her for that a lot. But the teacher in this case like isn't well liked by a lot of students, and that's why when they found out that she's teaching the AP class, because she just got promoted to this, so like she's real new to the AP game, and so when people found out like, oh, she's teaching it, not like the cool teacher that everyone likes, that's also the creative writing teacher, a lot of people dropped out, and so it's just I had a class of 8 people. Literally, my AP class is 8 people, and it's amazing, because I know one other person from creative writing, in fact, and so we just talk, and that's about it. We're done. It's so stupid, and this whole situation is just stupid. But so anyways, we're going on. We had to screw up with our summer assignment, because apparently like she stole it from the cool teacher, because she like only does 12th grade now, so she basically stole her plan. And she said, like, seeing, like, apparently everyone just bid it on the summer assignment, like everyone did bad. I think I did the worst in my class, actually, on the summer assignment. And, like, so basically she said, like, okay, it's not going to count as many points. I messed up. It's setting you up for bad habits. And I don't know what that means, or that's a diss to the other teacher's plan. It's probably not, but it feels like a diss. And it's probably why people don't like her, because she does things like that. And, like, always, like, revolves the conversation about her own stuff, which is, I kind of, give her slack on, because, she is doing English. Like, she's studying papers and stuff like that. So it kind of be hard not to relate yourself to that when you're teaching an English class. Especially an AP one, which tackles college things, and you're technically in college submitting to professors. Probably makes sense to relate that. So I don't have a problem with that. Anyways, what people did have a problem with was, like, the amount of work she was doing. Or, like, giving to us. Like, we had to do, LOC. We had the big old book of literature, like language of composition book, called the LOC book. And like we had in the book we have assignments to do, like annotate this and discuss like rhetorical triangle and like ethos, pathos, logos, all that crap. Or ethos, logos, pathos if you're really anal about it. So, anyways, she's like assigns us a bunch of work and like she also says like, oh, we have like vocabulary words every week, and we have introducing like every at the end of every Friday. At the end of every week that we have, like either Friday or Thursday, thanks to the AB day schedule, you have to like submit two annotated. You have to find two articles that you like, and write like page summaries about them, and like all this stuff and that stuff, and like. And she also did the thing that I can actually critique her on, that it was not always well communicated, like how to submit these things. Like, are we supposed to write them in paper, or are we supposed to give them to Google Classroom or digitally? Because she also often set up like, hey, in the Google Classroom, like here's your work. You have the LC book pages like 50 to 60, and like do the things inside of it, do these assignments. So you don't know if like, okay, do I make a Google Doc and submit it there? Do I do it in paper? And with annotating, like, we can't use write in the book, so we're just doing textbook, or like she wants us to use like this PDF reader stuff, but it doesn't really work, and like, it's just a whole lot of garbage. There's a whole lot of stuff that people felt, overwhelmed. And apparently, according to her, she got very, very many emails. She got a lot of emails. Very, very many emails. Very, very, very many emails. Very, 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 very. I don't know why I keep doing that. That's apparently my thing today. Just repeating the same word as if it's actual content. But yeah, she got a lot of emails. One of the people included... Well, the person I knew included, like, sent her email saying, like, hey, this is, like, too much work. It's super stressful. It's, like, ruining my social life. I have work to do. I get home at, like, 11. I don't have time to do work. English is, like... Because with English, there's, like, so much reading you have to do, and, like, rereading, and, like, actual writing to do. It's not like history where, like... It's, like, a linear thing of, like, a set schedule. Like, with English, you really don't know what you're going to get sometimes. And, like, all the deadlines and whatnot, and the inability to, like, know how to submit things, like when to. So a lot of people felt stressed. I didn't feel that. I didn't really feel that, I guess, because I'm just like kind of go with the flow kind of guy. But like I get where people are coming from. And so she eventually just got so bad, she eventually, like, to all the classes, she basically said, okay, we're gonna have a public discourse about this. So like apparently in every class, she sat down with her kids and like, okay, air your grievances and like let's talk about it. And it was a lot of crying, and I say crying, it was literally crying. So for one, when I entered the class the day of I didn't know this was happening, so she didn't like it's an announcement. She just like, I just came in and like a student was crying. It's just a random girl was just crying, and like the teacher was like consoling her, and and so that was not a good start. And so eventually go into like all the discussing and whatnot, all the trash talking, and like by the end of it, like the teacher's crying, and like she has to like leave. She's like a very emotional person. Like she's almost like, most of the time she talks is like in hysterics sometimes. I feel like she talks in hysterics sometimes and like is weird. But I kind of identify with that because I talk in hysterics a lot of times. I guess that's why I sympathize with her sometimes. She gets like overly emotional and like all that, which I can relate to. So I guess that's why I like her a little bit more than most people. Other people find it annoying, but I find it fine. And so, but like by the time she ended with it, she's like getting all teary eyed and like walking out of the room, and then like everyone looks at each other and like all feel bad, and like I just say, by the way, before I enter this class, I'm like super dehydrated because I have a plan in weight training. Well, I have the gym class. You get to choose, like, when you're a junior and senior, you get to choose, like, what you do for gym. And I chose weight training. And so I had to make my own plan and, like, all the, exercises and whatnot. And I was going hard this day. I was going, getting those gains, bro. 24/7 grind, rise and grind, for grinding and, go grinding for shining. And other terrible rhymes that Instagram people probably say. Because it... just stupid stuff, So I'm doing, trying really hard at my workout, doing my exercises, getting my sweat on. And you forget a lot of things in the moment. The music's pumping. They play actually some pretty good songs there, so you get in the mood to it. You feel the gym teacher is actually really good, and he motivates you, saying like, "This is how you get your posture up. You gotta keep it straight. You gotta feel the burn and all that." And so you're doing it, and like by the time you feel exhausted and whatnot, and you take your backpack and you go upstairs, and you realize, hey, my back feels on fire because I do a plan called functional workouts, which like trains like multiple muscle groups at the same time. Well, multiple muscle groups at the same time. I repeat myself. Okay, I think I thought I stumbled. I'm gonna say that again and not stumble. You work multiple muscle groups at the same time in motions you would only do in real life, like like lifting stuff with like a little deadlift or suitcase lift. Actually no, yeah, it's called a suitcase deadlift. Like it's to mimic like picking up a heavy thing from the side, or like to make sure, basically to make sure you don't like throw your back out trying to lift it back over ice in the car. That's the sort of thing these workouts are meant to do. And so I was doing that, and like I had this real killer one. It's called like a hip extender with a reverse fly, and like basically you go on one leg and put your body like completely forward, like you're an L, but with one leg out, so you look like a flamingo. But where the reverse fly comes in, it's like you hold 10-pound weights and you go your arms completely to the sides and back down. And like it's super hard to keep balance, and like when you do manage to keep balance, it feels like it's tearing apart your back. And so I felt really bad. So like my back hurts, like my arms are like my pecs hurt for like 3 days after doing the workouts. I do like a lot of overhead lifting, and then, like arm workouts, and like with legs I do like high knees and like squats and whatnot. And so like my knees are like feel like rubber, but like not too bad. My arms and specifically my pecs, which I'm not even trying to work out, my pecs feel like terribly sore and torn. And I didn't drink a lot during this exercise, during any of them. I drank like once, and like by the time I got into like English class, I felt super dehydrated, to the point where I tried to start off our conversation about things, and I was complaining about a thing that she clearly told us, like told us this thing. It's like, yeah, I was clearly communicating. It's like, and like I don't know, I'm so really dehydrated. It was literally just that. It was like nonsense. I was talking out my ass. I might have to like go to the water fountain. I like asked to be let out and like go to the water fountain and like drown myself practically, because I was super dehydrated. I was like I was seriously out of it for a second. And so yeah, that was fun being super dehydrated. And so I was doing that and got went to the classroom and like talked about it. And by the end of the class, she's like teary eyed and everyone's crying, and like people just looking at. Everyone feels like no one wanted to make the teacher cry. Apparently she did it like in every class, and we kind of knew that coming in, but like she ended up crying a little bit, and like everyone just looked bad and like, just felt bad. And like I just went on in my dehydrated state going, well guys, we made a fucking teacher cry. Mission accomplished, good job. Black Hawk down, we killed us something. It's just a random string of nonsense. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I said. It's just that string of nonsense. Nonsense. There's a string of absolute nothings, and like not even the sweet nothing, it's just like sour nothings. And afterwards, the teacher came back and all fine, and then like she's giving us less work to do and like communicating better and all that, and so everything's good and dandy. Well, not for my friend. Let's just call her R for now. There's not even a start of her actual name. So anyways, R. I don't know why I thought R. I think I'm thinking of Team Rocket. I don't know why, but R. Call R. And R is I don't know how, because we have 8 people in our class, but apparently it's spreading around the rumors of the school that R is the one who made the teacher cry. And like, first of all, she felt, by the end of it, I think she felt bad. Like she looked sad. She denies this, but I swear to God, she looked sad. Like she looked like genuinely distraught. Not distraught, but like she just felt sad and like looked like she was about to cry as well. A lot of people in the class were crying as well. Not crying, but misty eyed and a little bit like. It's not easy. It's true. Kind of like that, and I don't know how or why. Again, there's only 8 people in the class, so I don't know who's spreading this rumor of like she made the teacher cry, because she didn't really. Like I think it was a combination of like all of us and like just hearing like our complaints. It was just like, man, I'm really screwing up this thing I'm paid to do and like what I'm really passionate about. I feel really bad. You know, the same thing with my depressed podcast when I talk about the creative writing thing. She felt the same way. Which is probably why I relate to her so much. I'm not realizing it, but yeah. That was not a good thing. But yeah, that was crying teacher. That was not a good thing. And apparently, even it was weirder because the cool teacher who already did the AP stuff. She like mentioned like when the teacher the bad teacher in quotes talked to her, she talked to the cool teacher saying like, okay, what am I doing? Like the cool teacher asked her like, so where are you right now in the lessons? Like I'm like right here. And the cool teacher just went on, was like, oh yeah, that's normal. Like apparently it's just a normal thing for like AP classes to just, at least AP English, to be like the worst thing to transition to. Because the guy in there was a senior and he took AP English before. And so he basically said like, yeah, AP English is like this hardest thing to do, like to jump to from honors to AP. Just because it's such so much more workload, and like by this point in the year, I guess people just start revolting and like just saying like, no work. It's not like they're babies. They genuinely have concerns about like they have lives now, and like at this point when they're like juniors and seniors, they have jobs and whatnot, and so it's probably not a good thing to have like a lot of work and reading to do. That's like not always communicated the best way and all that jazz. So a real good thing, guys. Real good thing. And so yeah, that's my classes. And that has been probably this podcast. I hit 15 minutes, and I do that for your time's sakes, because those 10 minutes are extra valuable. Extra valuable. So that has been the Dabble In Babble podcast. It has been me, Brian Del Salazar, as your host, and I'll see you next Friday. Please subscribe, hit that notification, comment, sacrifice your firstborn. I don't care. Just make sure people know about it, and it's because of me. See you all, folks. Bye.